Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Camp TCG, and I just won the Darkwing Blast sneak peek. Got the sick mat, sick field center, and this awesome promo. And yeah, if you couldn't tell by the title, I played Rikka Sunavalon. This deck's absurd, especially if your opponent doesn't read the cards. It's free. If they don't read it, you're just winning. This deck's absurd. I highly recommend it. Give it a shot. People aren't ready for it. But yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. For the Sunavalon, Sunseed, whatever portion of the deck that people call it now, I played 2 Loci. Some people play the third. You don't really need it because there's so many ways to access this card, and I don't think the third ever comes up. And sometimes just like drawing this card is just like alright. Most of the time I saw this card, I was like summoning it out of the deck somehow. But this card's absurd because just by itself, it sets a Bangalancer that can revive itself and a Thrasher that can attack 3 times for 32. So that alone, and then you pair that with the Rikka combo, which is like crazy. And then the Brick, I drew this twice today, and holy crap, this card sucks in your hand. But if you don't draw it, it makes your Loci insane. And then I played Lonefire. This is mainly to get this guy out, just because it's absurd, but this can summon basically any plant from your deck. So it's basically free in this, but I didn't see it once today, so I have no idea how crazy it is. I need to test with it more. But that's it for that Sunavalon portion of the deck. For the Rikkas, triple petal. Once per turn during the main phase, you can take a Rikka and either send it to the grave or add it to hand. I don't know why you'd put a Rikka in the grave. Almost 90% of the time, you're adding it to your hand. And then it also has the additional effect where on the end phase, you can special summon it back on your opponent's end phase. And I actually use this to play around mine. My opponent summoned a monster and played mine and passed. And in end phase, I was able to summon this back and the mine killed itself. And I was just able to kill him after that. So that effect, summoning in the end phase, is really nice, and also just like summoning this back, and just allows you to just have the resources and be able to go off next turn. You then pair that with Triple Princess. This card's absurd. It's a monster negate by attributing and shuffling as cost, and then it's also just a free level 4 body that just can hit the board, and it's just so nice. It's exactly what the deck needed. And then for the rest, I played 2 Mudon. This one is actually nuts. So you tribute a plant to special, and then if it's summoned off the effect of a Rikka, you can add a Rikka spell or trap. 90% of the time it's Con, and then Con gets you to the trap, or it gets you to a Glamour if you really need to keep extending. So it's just, this card's crazy. And I paired that with 2 Primula. Most people play 1 of this card. The second one came up so much today. There were like 2 times where having the Primula in deck was enough to make a push and make at least a Strenna, so I could like get a Glamour and stuff. Just recycling Glamour. Like you Glamour, Tribute, you get Princess and Primula, and then you normal Primula, Special Princess, and overlay for Strenna. And Strenna gets you the Glamour, and then you just hopefully have a way to and then you have the Princess engraved to tribute the Strenna. So going to your opponent's turn, you can negate a monster, and then you can go into Hyperton, or you can go into Teardrop and tribute something. So just like off of a Glamour tribute, it allows these 2 to just turn into 2 interruptions, which is nice. And then he played the 1 Snowdrop. This card's absurd because it summons you tribute a plant to summon itself and any plant from hand. And the amount of times I summoned it and Loci was crazy. But yeah, that's it for the Rikka monsters. Most people play this as like a go second. They'll play like Dark Rulers and Lightning Storms and like Rivalry and stuff. I decided to just go heavy on hand traps, and I played triple Bell, triple DD Crow, triple Ash, triple Imperm, and these were insane. Making my normal end board and pairing that with like 1 to 2 hand traps in hand, you're not beating that. Because you have to break through my board, which typically you're not killing me unless you like draw Raigeki Lightning Storm, which my buddy behind the camera did that to me in testing, and I was like, good lord, this deck hard loses the Lightning Storm and Raigeki. And evenly, but luckily that didn't happen during the tourney. But like the hand traps are just absurd. They hit the format, and then with what's it called coming out, Darkwing Blast coming out, Beastial is huge. So I really think Bell is like a staple to have in the deck again, just because Beastial exists. That's it for the monsters. For the spells, triple unexpected die. This card is absurd. Summons Lokai out of the deck, and then you already know what Lokai does. So it's just a free summon to start your combos. Triple Glamour. This card's nuts. You search for Rikka, and then if you... so, on activation, you contribute a plant, and if you do, you can add a Rikka and one with the same original level as the one that you added, but a different name. So typically you're going for Primula Petal, because you don't run like any other level 6s or 8s, or you run a 1. There was actually one time where it came up where I added Petal and Lokai, and then I was able to just go off because I had that. Because from there I was able to Petal into Snowdrop, and then Snowdrop summon Lokai, and then I killed my opponent. But this card's absurd. Con, the reason this deck is broken, once per turn, you can set a Rikka spell or trap. So you get Glamour, or you get the broken trap card. But this is also insane in the fact that if you attribute something, you contribute one of your opponent's monsters as if it was a plant monster you controlled. So yeah, Tribute's cost is apparently pretty good if you don't remember playing against Lair of Darkness Infernoids. This is the new Lair of Darkness Infernoids. And then 2 Sowing. I actually like this card at 2. Because if I hard draw this, it can get me to a Lokai and turn into more cards. On top of, like, there were a few times where I summoned Dryas today and it got hit, and then I just had this in hand and I punished my opponent. So yeah. And then Konami didn't ban it, so I'm gonna play it. It's mine. Going second, you just play this, it forces into the gate. If not, then you're just gonna make your plays underneath the mine pretty effectively. And the terraforming is double because it also searches Con. So I was just like, this is a no-brainer. I don't see why you wouldn't want to play this. It's one of the best cards in the game right now. Called by. Don't know how this dodges the ban list either. And then Sheet. This is an imperm and it takes. So it's insane because you can, if you have Con up, you tribute one of their monsters. So you target one of their monsters, you take it, and you tribute another one of their monsters for cost. And you take care of 2 bodies with 1, which I think is funny. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. It's 42. For the extra, triple Dryas. This is what makes Lokai insane. When you make this searches your Sunvine spell or trap, and then anytime you take damage, you can gain that much damage back, and then you can summon a Sunvine monster from your extra deck, which is typically Healer, which then can target this and gain 300 life points. But there are situations where you can summon Thrasher. And I actually did that once. My opponent had a defense position monster. I crashed into it with Dryas. Dryas gained it back, and I summoned Thrasher. And then was able to, in turn, go into Dance Peon, and then Dance Peon just went off from there. And then for the last part of this engine, is this part of the extra deck is the Melius. You use this when you're going for the the Thrasher Dryas 3 attack OTK into the Bengal Lancer. Because this can target a I'm pretty sure this is the one that targets. Yeah, it can gain additional attacks. So typically the board will look like this, and then you're able to go Melius target Thrasher. Thrasher gains 2 additional attacks, so he can attack 3 times, and then Thrasher targets Melius, making him 32. So 32 3 times typically will kill your opponent. But this part of the core is just insane because you push so much with it, and your opponent needs at least 2 hand traps to stop it. Turning around and doing the Rikka stuff is usually enough to kill your opponent. 2 Jasmine. This card's absurd. It specials a plant, just tribute a plant, special a plant from deck. And then if you take gain life points, you can add a plant from deck. So if you can like make this and then go for Dryas Line, you can get additional resources, which is kind of cool. I then played Dance Peon. You declare a level, number 1 through 3, and special summon up to 3 plants that you excavate from the top of your deck. And it also allows you to manipulate the levels of plants that it is targeting. So that helps a ton with making your Strenna, which is like a big part of the deck. And then Bang a Lancer, because you target, compulse something. It's a 25 beater, and then if it's in the grave, you can banish monsters with a link rating equal to 4 and just summon them back and then keep doing it again. It's absurd. For Xyz, 2 Strenna. Strenna's nuts. When you make this, you can detach, target any Rikka card in your grave, add it to hand, and then if it's tributed, you get to summon a plant. I think it's a plant XYZ. Trying to remember. Yeah, level 5 or higher plant XYZ monster from my extra deck or grave, and I can attach this card to it as material, which is kind of cool. And your targets for that are 2 Teardrop and 1 Hyperton. Hyperton is a pseudo Omni Negate. It's whatever you have attached underneath it. So if you can get a trap underneath it, which I have yet to do, you can negate traps. Same thing with spells and same thing with monsters. Typically, this is just a monster negate. And then Teardrop just allows you to do detach a material, target a card, and just tribute it. It just says, target a card, tribute it, which is kind of cool. And it comes up. But yeah, that's it for the extra. I'll blow through my side deck really fast. Triple Nib. People still don't respect it. Triple Cosmic. I don't want to lose to Mystic Mine and shit. Triple Lightning Storm. This card's absurd. I wanted mostly power cards in my side deck, so when I'm siding, I have power cards that I can draw into. Same thing goes with Dark Ruler. Going into a board, I just Dark Ruler no more and kind of push through. And then Rivalry, because a good portion of the format does lose to this card, which is nice. But yeah, that's it for the deck. It's insane. No one read the cards today, so it was just free. They didn't know what to hit. So take advantage of that while you can, because the longer this deck's around, the more people are learning about it. But yeah, comment, like, subscribe, and as always, guys, get your game on.